All right, hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and this is Chatter with Statter. Looks like we've got a couple people in already in the house. Pacola T saying, hey, Chatter crew. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday saying aloha. Terry in Scotland, and let's see here, Shock coming in at the very beginning. And I think I said hello to Pacola T. I think she was the first one I said hello to, but in case I didn't, hey. All right, there we go. So it is Sunday. I hope your weekend has treated you well. Shock is driving home from a client meeting in DC, finally running into some traffic on the road that never has any hubbut. Oh no, that's a bummer. Well, at least though, it sounds like your traffic woes are more traffic oriented than weather oriented. And for that, I hope I am right, and I am thankful on your behalf, because it sounds like there's some serious weather that's coming around the rest of the country. We've got a level 4 of a 5 level situation, atmospheric river coming to the Pacific Northwest this later this evening and earlier this week. And from what I understand, that upper Midwest is not in a happy place today. Another snowstorm. Hopefully, I think it was light snow instead of the cement snow they got last time. At least that's the scuttlebutt on the last stream that we had here. The last stream that we had, by the way, well, it wasn't here. It was over there in the Secret Squirrel Cinema, and it was Inside Out, a cute Disney Pixar movie. If you've not seen it, you should definitely give it a whirl. We will be watching Inside Out 2 eventually later on. Not sure when, so I'm not going to tell you. And yeah, it's effing cold outside, Chuck, but is it snowing? Is it icy? Is it danger weather? Like, okay, cold is danger weather, but if you're warm in your car, then it's good. Okay, no water falling from the sky right now. That's what I'm talking about. That's the important thing. And eMusic, good to see you. And let's see here. We miss you guys very much. We've got to work and lurk this evening for a bit. That is fine and dandy. Best thing to do is have your real life take priority. But I definitely know how it feels to be missing everybody, because as much as I enjoy being here with all y'all, what I really miss, and I already know you guys know what I'm going to say, I miss Andy. I miss Andy Bumatai. I miss in theory, he's supposed to come back December 19th, but there's a big maybe to that. And as much as I want him to come back on December 19th, if he's not able to come back, that's actually a really good thing for him. He's got some projects in the working, and if the project actually comes to fruition, then he probably won't have time for us anymore, and it'll break my heart. But I'm very excited for this potential project that he has lined up. And by the way, Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for those 1,000 biddies. 44 in Scotland. Is it 51? Let's see here. Is it 51 in my... It says it's 49 at my house, but 49, 51, close enough. We are in a flood watch, and a powerful atmospheric river aims for Pacific Northwest. Oh my God, y'all. You probably can't see this, and I know you can't, but okay, so all right, I'm reading a headline here, okay? There's a headline on, this is my phone. There's a map, a meteorological map that's showing the river. And the headline that I just read says, powerful atmospheric river aims for Pacific Northwest. And they spelt aim. This is in the headline. They spelled Ames. A-I-M-E-S. A-I-M-E-S. In the headline. That's how you spell Ames these days, I guess. In the headline. Y'all, before I even get started, let's just get the party started, all right? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, there we go. Rick saying, good day here. 3 inches of snow this morning. Packers beat the Bears this afternoon. Let's see what tonight brings. Exactly. Let's see what tonight brings. And yeah, Shock, you eagerly await instructions to update the website. Yes, that is definitely, you're the one who's going to know before all of us if and when things actually end up happening. And Rick, you were downloading some 1040 forms. Why? Why did you have to say that word? Why are you doing it so early? Those forms aren't even finished yet, are they? Oh. For those of you who don't know, 1040 forms are the United States basic tax form. And so, because I work in that milieu, we refer to forms by number. And, you know, it honestly, I swear to God, the longer I have worked at the tax office, the more I sound like Radar from MASH. I don't know if y'all remember, but, you know, Radar was the clerk, and so anytime any kind of bureaucratic paperwork needed to be done, he would be the one in the background. Well, don't forget to file your Form F31C in triplicate. Now, you have to attach the Form 2287D, but blah, 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 blah. And I feel like that because that's exactly how tax forms are. It's like, well, with the change of address, we're also going to need the, you know, Form 8959 to explain why we're doing this by paper instead of online and blah, 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 blah. Yep. All right. Anyway. So, let's see here. Oh no, Darlene, what did you accidentally say? Oh, the guy with the bottles. I was wondering what you meant by that. Biddies instead of bottles. Same diff. And, oh, shoot, Shock, really? You're hearing from me that you might be hearing from him. Well, yeah, so to clear things up just a little bit, Andy has a potential, or is going to be doing this proof of concept video. It's for, I think, a TV show that's being written. And obviously you've got the proof of concept, and then you've got the actual pilot, and then whether or not the pilot gets picked up. So these are multiple stages of things. And I think right now it's just in the proof of concept stage. And so he's going to be doing some things in the next couple of weeks with this. I guess that will somehow determine whether or not other things will be happening. So basically this is all I know, and I know just enough to be dangerous, but, if things are going well, then he might not have time for the Daily Pigeon. And frankly, I don't know which side of the coin I want to be on. I'm rooting for more Daily Pigeon, but I'm also rooting for Andy's success, so ¿por qué no las dos? But sometimes you don't get both. All right, you guys. So I need to have real talk with y'all because this cannot continue. This cannot continue. Yeah, let's see here. Can we do this? No, here we go. Can we do this? Yeah, you know, I had to. Here we go. You know what this is, right? Yeah, I had to do this again. God. All right, my lighting leaves something to be desired today. We're not going to mess with that. But, so, I had to go there again today. Why, you ask? Because I need coffee and I don't have coffee at home. And why is this now a new topic? Because in case you didn't hear, the place that I get my coffee, it got hit by a van, stolen van, but that's a different story. It got hit by a van, and then it got knocked off of its foundation, so its wires are all torn up, and its plumbing is all broken. So they're not making coffee right now. And so it's going to be a couple weeks before the building gets put back together when all the king's horses and all the king's men come to put Sisters Espresso back together again. It's going to be a couple weeks. Which means I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing for coffee for the next couple weeks. And, oh wait, did eMusic or did Elaine come in? Yes, Elaine came in. Hey, good to see you, Elaine. I'm complaining about my coffee. And yes, it was Star. Exactly, Rick. I had to do that again because it's the closest one to my house. But yesterday I went to Starbucks and I had one of the worst cups of coffee in my life. So when I went to that same Starbucks because it is the closest one. I was like, hey, I don't want the Pike Place roast. I want the blonde that you've got in that pot right over there. And they're like, oh no, that pot doesn't have anything in it, even though it was clearly labeled anyway. And it's like, well, I want a blonde pour over. And they're like, I don't know if we've got blonde in the store. And I'm just like, well, look. So she's looking, she can't find it. And so I was like, hey, fine, I'll just take that Veranda blend because it's also a lighter roast. The Pike Place roast is a medium, which they consider it medium, but it's actually, to me, it's a dark. So I prefer, if I'm going to have to do Starbucks, I realized, or I reminded myself why I hate Starbucks yesterday with their Pike Place roast. So I wanted to get a blonde, and then I was like, can't get a blonde. So it's like, fine. Yeah, I know, right, Shot? Call for the local Samoans to report to Coffee Depot and move it back. Yeah, it's really the wiring, I think. But yeah, exactly. The Samoans would probably make the quick work of it. Quick as it took me to find my own cup of coffee today. So I go to stop there. Like, no, we stopped selling that Veranda blend. We don't have it anymore. And so, hey, Pussycat. So I was like, okay. So I go to the next closest Starbucks, and they were like, oh no, we don't have any blonde on tap, and the whatever blonde roast, we stopped serving that at 11. So now these are two Starbuckses that are in stores, So I finally went to like the real Starbucks, and I was like, hey, I would like a blonde pour over. And they're like, we don't do pour overs anymore. We do this thing in this machine thing. And I was like, well, I want a blonde. And she's just like, well, we don't have blonde roast, but we've got the blonde Christmas blend. And it's just like, just give me that then. So I got that. And yeah, once again, really crummy. So I'm asking you guys, I don't like a super dark. My ideal is a medium Colombian. What should I get, you guys? What should I get? Rick, coffee grinders aren't the issue. I have 4 different coffee grinders. The real Starbucks, like the one they send the tourists by Pike Place Market. No, it wasn't. Well, yeah, it was a real standalone Starbucks shop. Hey, Andre, by the way, good to see you. A real standalone shop that isn't in another store, basically. And they barely had what I wanted, but I got something. It was still gross. So basically, Pussycat, Kona coffee, yeah, for sure. I love Kona coffee, but I just need to spend just a little bit of money on a coffee for the next couple weeks. I have a French press. I actually, though, don't think I'm going to be doing French press. I want to get one of those, they're like, the Melitas, where you have, you put the coffee filter on top of your cup, and then you just pour the water in, and then it makes the coffee in your cup. I just want to do that. And so, Bacola Tea, sorry, we drink Kauai coffee in a medium roast. Not the best option for you since it had to be shipped. Yeah, see, that would be a beautiful idea. And no, I don't want a Mr. Coffee. I know Mr. Coffees are like $15, but I don't want another utensil. Single serve brew cone. Rick, that's what I want. Rick just gave us the words. And I have the technology for all of this. I just don't have the coffee at the moment, because I don't want a Keurig. I don't want another appliance, and I definitely don't want another Keurig because those little pods of coffee actually kind of piss me off. And I know that you can get reusable K-Cup pods, but they're really tiny and a pain in the arse to clean. I just want my little pour over. I'm a very simple person. And, Shock, I know that 7-Eleven has Colombian coffee, and the 7-Eleven, you're almost, I know you're not mocking me. I know you're not, but you almost are. My dearest, beloved 7-Eleven that I spent 20 plus years going to almost every day is no longer open. It's no longer open. And so in order to get to the next closest 7-Eleven, I would have to go out of my way in a couple different directions. And so I have, that honestly is what my next option is. And let's see here. Pocola tea, the clone you use is collapsible silicone and it sits right on top of the mug. Oh, that's awesome. I just have a ceramic one or whatever. So I'm going to have to get the paper filters, which kind of sucks, but they are compostable. So I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, Elaine, a real espresso machine, best coffee you've ever made. Exactly. Let's see here. The single brew cone was all the Airbnb had last time in Hawaii. We ended up at Savers and picked up an 8-ounce Mr. Cup. Yeah, well, for sure. If you've got more than one person at a time, then yeah, the single pour over is not an option. But it's just me. I just have 12 ounces of coffee a day. It's very simple. I'm a very simple person. And yes, Andre, the 7-Eleven next to Tie Me Down or Tie You Up is closed. It has really put a dent in my routines. Let me just tell you right now. And let's see here. Okay, so Shock, it's funny that you should say that because I was absolutely thinking of that. Here, did I? Oh. All right, hold on one second. Let's see here. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I was absolutely thinking of the coffee, but I did not have I've never tried it before. And so what I'm wondering is the coffee really dark? Because the can says that it's espresso, a sort of an espresso roast, you know? And I really prefer a medium. And so I'm wondering, is the one in the yellow can super dark, or is it not as espresso-y as it makes me think it might be? And by the way, I am totally doing something while I'm talking to you guys. So if I look distracted, I am actually. I'm totally trying to get something on the screen that I completely meant to get on the screen earlier, but I did not. And so here we go. All right, so they have blonde express roast. Hold on, wait. Man, that's too bad I didn't go in there that much, but it was fun. People watching place while waiting for food. Yes, very fun watching the people in the 7-Eleven. And let's see here. They have blonde espresso roast. Do you mean Starbucks? Or do you mean Cafe Bustelo? And let's see here. Pussycat, I got an espresso for $2 with the BOGO after the coupon. Nice, nice. This is what... Ooh, wait, there we go. This is what... Okay, so this is what Shock was talking about. And then I noticed they have a medium roast. And so I was thinking I might get the medium roast. Does anybody have any input or familiarity with this particular brand? Because this was the direction I was thinking of going in. And so I'm just curious if, if y'all know anything about it. And let's see here. You get medium roast from Costco and Colombian, really good, about $20 a bag and good size bag. Yeah, 3 pounds for $15.99 the last time you bought. Yeah, no, that's a wonderful price for sure. But I don't think I need that much. I only drink 12 ounces a day, and I'm hoping that it'll only be a couple weeks until I get my real coffee back, the coffee I crave, the coffee that's supposed to taste right, the good coffee. And I don't think that roast, right? Yeah, and Pussycat, it tasted nasty. You didn't like that brand, right? And yeah, Andre, it is the Cubans or the coffee that a lot of Hispanic people own. Yeah, Sistos. Yeah, Andre, I guess you probably weren't here yet Sisters is closed because someone hit their building and knocked it off their foundation, and so the plumbing's torn up and the wiring's all unwired, or the wires are crossed, and so it's going to be closed for a couple weeks. I was in denial. I was like thinking it would only be closed for maybe a week, but I talked to the owner yesterday, and no, I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it's not going to be open for a couple weeks. And so after today, chasing down yet another crummy cup of coffee, I've decided to make my own. I know, Andre, oh no, you really have to work hard to hit a place that hard. Yes. And what happened, Andre, was there was a customer, actually, a regular customer who works at a retirement home, decided while she was still on shift that she would take the retirement home van, the kind of van that's sort of more like a bus than a van. She decided to go through the coffee shop to get a cup of coffee. And when the van started to drag on the building and the roof, instead of stopping like a normal person would and backing up, she just kept going forward and completely knocked the whole building off its foundation. Yeah. Shock. So let's see here. I like the Bustelo, whatever, and I'm not a big fan of super strong blackened coffee, so it's worth a try if it's cheap. Yeah, it's not that, I mean, it's not as cheap as Costco, but it's not that expensive, so I was thinking I might try to get the medium roast, and let's see here, and even though, by the way, Cafe Bustelo, or however you say that, is owned by Smuckers, it started out, this immigrant from Spain who traveled all throughout Latin America. He and his Venezuelan wife started the roastery back in the early 1900s, like in 1920 something. And they basically marketed to all of the Hispanic neighborhoods and Latin American neighborhoods within New York City, and slowly grew from there. And so that's why this is for sure the coffee that, if you're in a Hispanic household, this is you're probably going to spot one of these cans in that home. And let's see here. So, and Terry in Scotland, Bustelo, Gregorio Menendez Bustelo, sure, whatever, traveled from his native Asturias, Spain, to Cuba, and then he moved to the United States. He founded the coffee company in East Harlem in 1928, that is. His product became popular among Cuban exiles who preferred to prepare it in espresso coffee makers rather than the then common method of filtering it through a coffee sock. Got it. And yes, Puzzy Cat, I am in a flippin' coffee crisis. And let's see here. Rick makes a pot a day. I have a mug, but he drinks the majority of the pot. Right. And that does explain his energy. And if I don't get coffee at Three Sisters, I get it at Beery and Press, but that's a bit fancy. Not as down home as Three Sisters, though. Yeah, and Beery and Press, while a wonderful coffee establishment, is very much the opposite direction of where I travel in my day. I generally am not in downtown Burien. And so, let's see here. Puzzy Cat, you still have your mother's Pyrex coffee pot and can still make brewed coffee with it. Is that the, doesn't that one like go on the stove and it's like Pyrex clear? The coffee pot? Or the coffee? Yeah, pot. Or is it I don't know if I know what a Pyrex coffee pot is. I know what a mocha pot is. I know what a percolator is. I know what the Melita is, but I don't know what Pyrex coffee pot. Both good for coffee and making crack. I don't know. Now I'm very confused. Is the Pyrex coffee pot, is it part of a machine or do you put it on the stove? Old style, on the stove. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that might be worth something, dude, because Pyrex does not make stovetop stuff anymore. Pyrex very much says you're not supposed to use Pyrex on the stovetop anymore. And so no, Pussycat, I'm jealous. I love the coffee brewed the Pyrex pot. Darn it, I want to know. I feel like I can envision it, but I still don't know if I envision it. So it sort of perks by boiling, right? And so it's sort of like a percolator, only Pyrex. I might have to look this up, but that's okay. We'll wait before I go down that. Yeah, it's clear, right? Yeah, I definitely know that. How do they make crack without stovetop proof Pyrex? Well, you can lots of ways, Andre. You can make. Oh, do we really want to go into this? You can make crack in the microwave, and we'll just leave it at that, okay? You can make crack in a microwave. You can make crack on a lot of things. Anyway, so Darlene, wow, she says to Pussycat, that's an old pot on the stove. I do have an older blue enamel type pot up north that perks the coffee on the stovetop. It makes good coffee. Yeah, and those are all percolators, but I didn't realize that. I'm really going to have to look up the Pyrex percolator pot, or see if it is a percolator. The coffee pot, oh my. I feel like I need more coffee, more better coffee than stupid barf stucks. That's it, it's barf stucks. I don't like barf stucks, it's gross. Alright, so... let's see here. Ask Molly about drugs. You would have been a great guest in my junior high drug/sex ed class back in the days. Yeah, let's see here. They sell Pyrex coffee pots at Walmart for $32. Okay, this is blowing everything out of the water, because I swear to you that Pyrex has made it very clear they're not to be used on the stovetop. So, but you're telling me that they still sell a Pyrex coffee pot at Walmart for $32. I mean, I don't want that coffee pot. I just want a simple pour over, but gall dang it, y'all. I really feel like I need to, look up what this coffee pot looks like, both old and new. Yeah, Pussycat, at least 65, 70 years old. That's what I was thinking. And, no, Andre, yes and no, Andre. So Andre's saying there's two kinds of Pyrex, different spellings. One is stove safe and the other is not. Yes and no. No and no and sorta. The Pyrex is spelt the same. The logo, hey, Trail Dust, the logo of the Pyrex is different. One of them is lowercase letters and one of them is uppercase letters. And neither of them claim to be stovetop safe anymore. One of them is way better than the other one. I can't remember if it's the uppercase or the lowercase, because they're two different kind of glasses. And one of them is definitely, if you're gonna use one of them, even though the label tells you don't do it, if you're gonna do it, one of them is safer to do this on the stovetop than the other one is. So it's like you're sort of right, but sort of not right. But either way, I really feel like modern Pyrex generally tells you no stovetop, unless it sounds like you've got Flameware. Let's see here. Look for Pyrex Flameware, which is rain safe. Well, shoot, gosh darn heck fork. So Flameware by Pyrex is... Alright, we might have to go into another dive on this pot. We've talked about Pyrex before, but we might have to... Flameware by Pyrex. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into this, because I'm just hornswoggled and confused. And yeah, Trail Dust, you probably have an opinion about this, maybe not, but I am in a coffee crisis. I need to choose a brand of coffee to make at my house. I don't like Starbucks Pike Place roast. It's gross. It's disgusting. I prefer a medium Colombian or something that's nice and flavorful but not burnt and gross. What is your favorite coffee? Do you drink coffee? What is your favorite coffee? Do you have a coffee recommendation? Answer any or all of these questions. They're given to you right now. And here we go. Andre, Pyrex Flameware was the specialized line of heat-resistant borosilicate glass cookware made by Corning, featuring a distinctive blue tint and the flame logo. Ah, okay, but they used to be amber. Designed for use directly on stovetops, gas or electric, and in ovens, unlike standard Pyrex, offering practical see-through cooking for items like coffee pots, saucepans, skillets, popular in the mid-20th century. Wait. Unlike standard Pyrex, offering practical see-through cooking items for like coffee pots, saucepans. That's good. I don't understand that last sentence at all. So, the blue tinted is no longer produced with its main production ending around 79, though vintage pieces are widely available for collectors. Today, the Pyrex brand in the US focuses on baking dishes and storage, often made from soda lime glass, while genuine borosilicate Pyrex, like Labware or some European versions, is made by Corning or International Cookware. There we go. And, you drink Highlander Grog by Cameroon. Okay, see that? You say that it's grog, so are you telling me that you don't drink coffee and that you just drink watered down rum? Is that what you're telling me? Or are you telling me that your coffee is named after watered down rum? So, hey, no comment. Good to see you. I believe Pyrex is safe for iced coffee, but need to check the label. Well, I don't see why it wouldn't be okay if it's cold brewed. Let's see here. Could you tell your favorite coffee shop which is not serving if selling you a bag of coffee? Actually, I was thinking about contacting the owner and asking if I could get a bag, because they're not going to need it for a minute. I was thinking about doing that, but I figured I'd maybe try to expand my taste or something. Okay, so that's the name. Okay, I'll look into that then. So wait, Highlander Grog by Cameroon. Now, Cameroon, is that the country that the coffee comes from, or is that the roaster? I'll be able to look it up. Highlander Grog Cameroon. Okay. If anybody ever looked through my notes, it would be very, very, very confused. Let's see here. Okay, so Huzzycat just sent a picture of the thing. Where'd you send it, Puzzy? Did you send it to my email? Okay. All right, I'll check for that while we do our Lono listening break or whatever. I'm going to be doing a lot of things during the Lono listening break, I think. So, but let's see here. All right, Darlene, here we go. I haven't been to Starbucks in years. There's a place here called Collectivo, and they have their own coffee that I've had and liked. It's pretty good, but on the pricier side. Yeah, and that is the thing, actually. I really shouldn't be spending as much money as I spend on coffee, but I do enjoy my baristas very much. They are our clients. I am a part of their, they're part of my daily routine, right? But I am thinking, if I do find a good coffee during this hiatus, this forced hiatus, I might cut back on my visits, because I really like it. Let's just face it, okay, you guys? I'm way too poor to be spending luxury money on coffee that I could make at home for literally 1/4 the amount that I spend at the flippin' store, so, you know. And let's see here. So, Molly, isn't Urinate Anarchist supposed to confuse outsider and all things, not just notes? Well, perhaps. But let's see here. So, Rick sent a link, and I'm clicking it. Okay, so, wow, it is a regular percolator pot. And, oh, I guess it is kind of blue tinted. Okay. Complete 6-piece glass and chrome, 6-cup coffee maker. Interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. But now I don't recall the glassware that Pyrex said was available to use on the stove. I don't recall that glassware always being blue, though. I swear, I really swear there was amber stuff that Pyrex made that was also stovetop safe. I mean, I remember on so many levels. First off, I remember television commercials that featured it, but I also know that I literally bought one as a housewarming gift for my coworker when she bought her house. So I bought it from a thrift store, and I thought it was really neat, but I didn't need another pot that size. I just thought it was so cool because it was so old. So I gave it to her. But I swear there was an amber version of stovetop Pyrex. I'm going to have to look this up too. And Andre, well, folks, going to get the other house to do some cooking for my week's lunches. Aloha. Okay, yes, do that. Good for you, Andre. Thank you so much for that 800 biddies. And Puzzycat, yours is clear. Well, that one that Rick, if you click on the link that Rick posted in the chat for, it's a vintage Pyrex thing, Pyrex coffee pot. It looks clear, but if you look at the bottom rim, you can see there's a blue tint to it. And so I'm going to assume that's what they mean by blue tinted, but I'll look on your picture to see if that's got the same blue tint at the bottom. And Rick, I don't think I trust any Flameware today because it's old. I kind of feel like you might be onto something there. And yeah, Puzzy, I will look at the picture. We've got 3 minutes left until our Lono listening break, and then I will do that. Stovetop pot as well, so either you're not crazy or both of us are. Yes, and okay, good. Chuck, I'm really glad to know that we have the same memory, but I'm not necessarily sure. It's like, so either you're not crazy or both of us are. And it's like, I feel like both is actually the more accurate assessment here. And dang it, autocorrect, I've had enough of your shirt. Exactly. Also, remember an amber colored stovetop pot. Thank you. Yes, but I do believe that even though we both share a memory, we're also probably both very crazy. And yeah. And never trust anything old. I guess you're probably right, Terry. Never trust anything old. And I have no problem using it again, even if it's 60 years old. Yeah, well, as long as there's no hairline fractures, I guess we're good to go. All I know is once in college, I had a roommate who accidentally, she was having a really bad week, y'all, and she accidentally left how did this happen? She left a pot on the stove, and the pot had a Pyrex lid, and she left it on the burner. The burner was on, but nothing was in the pot. The pot eventually melted and got hot enough that the Pyrex lid literally exploded in the kitchen, and like huge chunks of hot Pyrex glass, like huge chunks, went flying all over and like left burned scorch marks on the melted the kitchen floor. You know, got embedded in the wall. Like it was a big. It was a really good thing nobody was in the kitchen when that happened, because that actually probably could have killed somebody. I like that. They were chunks of Pyrex. It was the most bizarre. It was just this loud pop explosion, and both of us came out of our room like, what in the hell? And then we realized what happened, and she realized what she had done, and she felt like an ass, and it was my pot that she ruined, but I was really more concerned about the lasting damage to the kitchen floor that we were not going to be able to fix. So we had a lot of, when we moved out of that apartment, we had a lot of, we didn't get our, deposit back. We didn't get our deposit back. And it's not like we were shooting guns off or fireworks off in the, I mean, like we were, yes, there was bullet holes in the wall and scorch marks on the flippin' floor, but it was all innocent kitchen stuff, man. Toothpaste will cover up a lot of things, but when it comes to scorched, melted vinyl flooring, where not only the color, but the shape, and then the melted holes in it aren't really for, there's not much you can do to cover that up. That's just sort of there. Trail dust sounds like somebody made it look like an accident. That is so funny. And let's see here. Wait, what did Elaine? Okay. But you know though, Pussycat, you have been drinking coffee since you were 5 years old. That is crazy. That my sister was like that, and I just, wow. My childhood palate was not as sophisticated as yours. All right, you guys. Now we're 1 whole minute past our Lono listening break. So I'm going to let you guys listen to some Lono. Then I'm going to, I was also the kid that when they gave brandy to you when you got a sore throat. Well, my parents used to do whiskey for teething. So yeah, I'm not at all surprised. But all right, you guys, time for Lono listening break. And I don't know what Lono thinks about that, but I do know that he thinks that, that the new road construction sucks, because the old McKenna Road, way better than what they got now. All right, here we go.
The old McKenna Road. I'll say it. I'll say it. Hear me now when I say finally closed the old McKenna Road. They finally did what they said they wouldn't do. Looking back in my mind, remembering this time when they finally closed the old McKenna Road. Where the beaches we will follow on the road that leads us there, feeling like there's no tomorrow. Little beach, I'll see you there. Take your riches to the ocean, or the greed we cast away. In the rise of your awakening and the dawn of your new day, finally close the old McKenna Road. They finally did what they said they wouldn't do. Looking back in my mind, remembering this time when they finally closed the old McKenna Road. We thought they'd get it right before our eyes into their pockets. George, I know you're watching, all the money changing hands. They take away the shoreline, take away the bright sunshine. When the day turns into night, all the dreams we leave behind. Finally closed the old McKenna Road. They finally did what they said they wouldn't do. Looking back in my mind, remember rain this time when they finally close the old McKenna Road. Yeah. People spoke about this, sad and quite upset. They heard the road was closing for the road that they would get. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. In the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. We dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. In the day, in the night. Finally close the old McKenna Road. Finally did what they said they wouldn't do. Looking back in my mind, remembering this time when they finally closed the old McKenna Road. They finally closed the old McKenna Road. They finally closed the old McKenna Road. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Get up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. In the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. We dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. In the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. In the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Cannot say goodbye in the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye in the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Cannot say goodbye in the day, in the night. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. Dream it up and then we say goodbye. Dreamer cannot say goodbye. All right.
All right, there we go. Let's get more buttons pushed. Okay, I was doing things and stuff, but hey, C Honda, good to see you. We are trying to determine whether or not Shock and I are both crazy or if we actually remember things that did exist. And as it turns out, yes, things used to exist. They did exist. We actually are crazy, but we also are right. This did exist. This is a Corningware Visions cookware, and Corning Visions, I swear, were allowed. Those were obviously stovetop. I mean, that's clearly a stovetop dish. That is exactly the dish that I got, the pot that I got for my my coworker, but without the lid. There was no lid for it. It was just that, and apparently that item alone on the website that I took that picture from is worth $135. I paid like $8 for the one that I found in the thrift shop. I love thrifting, okay? But we also have this virgin. Is it a CGI photo? Shut up with your really good question, Trail Dust. Oh my God, you and your reality-based observations have no place in this conversation. I would like to think that it is not a CGI, but you know what? AI is everywhere. Who knows? That website could have been made just for me because it knew it was listening to us. I swear. I mean, maybe not, but you know what? These days, maybe. I know I sound a little bit crazy, but I think we've already established that I'm a little bit crazy. So there you go. You broke the big one of the 3 pieces. Oh, bummer, dude. That one must have been worth like $349 or something. But I'll tell you what, Pussycat, you don't want to be breaking this. This is what Pussycat insisted existed in his house, and he is indeedly do, I would say, correct. This is not a blue tinted Pyrex coffee pot. This is clearly clear glass. Unlike the one that Rick, that was in the link that Rick posted earlier, that one had a blue, you could see the blue tint at the bottom, but this one is, yes, very clearly clear. So I'm not so sure if the interwebs understands that it wasn't always blue tinted, man. It wasn't always blue tinted, man. And it wasn't the Berenstain Bears, it was the Bernstein Bears or whatever. And it wasn't... All right, actually, here's a question. You know the old song? I'm thinking it was probably written during World War II, maybe World War I, but it's I'll be home for Christmas. You can... You know that song? I'll be home for Christmas. You can... What's the next line? I'll be home for Christmas. You can. What is the next line of that song? Don't Google it. I want you to tell me in your brain. I know I'm not a good singer, but come on. You can count on me, says Polar T. You can count on that, says Rick. Both are acceptable answers. I think Picola T is actually technically right. Darling, you can count on me. Excellent. Did you know that there are videos out there on the internet trying to convince us that that's not what the words are? They're insisting now that the words are, I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. For real, dude. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. They're trying to mess with our brains, dude. But there's little videos out there. They're like, no, it never was that. They're calling it, the Mandela effect or whatever. And it's just like, what do you mean? No, it was never you can count on me. It's always been you can count on me. There's no, you can plan on me. That doesn't make any sense at all. You don't plan on a person. You plan an event. You can count on me to be at the event you planned. But yeah, apparently there's little, Picola T, lots of, people, and oh no. See, Rick is coming in with the brother. All right. Did you guys see what Rick just wrote? I'll Be Home for Christmas is a Christmas song written by lyricist Kim Gannon and composer Walter Kelt and recorded in 1943 by Bing Crosby, who scored a top 10 hit with the song, originally written to honor soldiers overseas to be at home for Christmas. I'll Be Home for Christmas since it's gone above Christmas standard. So do you see what Rick just said? Bing Crosby says, chorus, I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. And Rick is saying, check it out. And the songs on the radio at work get words changed when I sing them. Yes, oftentimes songs that I sing get their words changed too. But so Rick is coming in with the with apparently the source of this Mandela effect. So lyrics, thegenius.com, Bing Crosby. Okay, if you guys aren't, I'm going to click this link. It won't show up here, but I'm going to see, I'll be home for Christmas, Bing Crosby. Yeah, the chorus, I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. There's no, yeah, apparently it never says count on me in that particular, lyrics. So yeah, singer Johnny Mathis also covered the song, in 1958. And yeah, and the song was played by the NASA yeah, so right, so Picola T, no, all these years I've been singing the wrong lyrics. I don't know, Picola T, why is it that you and me and Darlene and every single person on this particular flipped thread says the exact same thing. You can count on me. And yet, Rick has just discovered the lyric, a thing with the lyrics that says blah, blah, blah. And Pussycat, I don't know, man, do you? Because if they're the old Bing Crosby albums, then yeah, I think you maybe need to. Because we just need to go right to the source. I don't need to know what Genius wants me to think that the lyrics are. I want to know what the lyrics actually were on the recording that, in theory, you've had since it was first recorded. Not some AI masterpiece that fiddles in and mixes in. You can count on me, because every single one of us thought it was You Can Count on Me. Why is that? If it wasn't You Can Count on Me, why did we all think it was? Was the radio version You Can Count on Me, but the album version You Can Plan on Me? Or vice versa? But for real, I mean, Pussycat, you don't necessarily need to do this right now, but for real, sometime over the holiday season, if you could do me a favor and pull that out and like either blow my mind or confirm, I just want to know. And Bing Crosby's hometown, well, I wasn't he from Spokane? I feel like he was from Spokane. Oh, Tacoma. Okay, all right. Who is it that I'm thinking of that was from Spokane? Huh, well, I'll figure that one day. And let's see here. Honestly, I do not remember it that way. I remember You Can Count on Me. And look, Rick just found another site that says it's You Can Count on Me. Exactly. You'll send pictures now. Well, the pictures aren't going to help unless there's a lyric sheet in the album. The pictures are not going to help. You're going to have to turn up your ears and tell us, like, You can count on me, you can plan on me. Because, for real, like, that's like the interwebs is trying to convince us there was no Berenstein Bears. It was just the Barnstein Bears or whatever, the flirk and fork. It's a difference between the verse and the chorus. Wait. Well, the first link that you sent only had Plan on Me, I thought. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have to know this though. Well, the link that you posted, Rick, genius.com, Bing Crosby, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. There is no verse. It starts out as chorus, I'll be home for Christmas, you can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Post chorus, Christmas Eve will find me where the lovely light gleams, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. Chorus, I'll be home for Christmas, you can plan on me. And then post-chorus. So there is no verse. And in this one, it never does say count on. So the other one that you might have found, the other link that you might have found, Okay, second was the verse. I'm very confused. Okay, so... Darlene, I have Bernstein Bears storybooks, so there are Bernstein Bears for sure. I read them to my kids and grandkids. Darlene, can you make sure, if those books are still within not arm's reach, but easy access, could you double check the spelling of the Bernstein Bears? Just to prove or not prove, because it's one thing to remember it one way, but it's another thing when you actually read it and go, oh, well, shoot, I was wrong the whole time. So, but I believe you because I do, but if you have access to those books, like go and like, okay, it's spelled Berstien. Oh, that's weird. I've never, or whatever. Anyway, I'd be super stoked. And let's see here. Okay, cool. Yeah, send me a picture. Just yeah, when, and obviously no hurry, but when, if you do have an extra, an extra minute in your day to go wander off into storage land, I would be super stoked. Okay, so here Rick's second link that he says is, I'll be home for here we go. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. So, right, so one of these versions is right and the other version's wrong. Because this one doesn't say you can plan on me. The second one doesn't have you can plan on me at all. Though the song, the lyrics, though, they're just presented in a slightly different way. They're just this, but they're basically the same on both those links, except for the plan and count on. And so, yes, I am. I'm handing out homework assignments because I want to keep these young snappers in check, and I want to let them know that we are not going to be gaslit into dementia. You're not going to tell us what we have known our whole lives is wrong, and insist that we all collectively remembered something wrong. No, I'm not falling for that. So if I can come up or have people help me come up with actual concrete proof, like, no, Bernstein's Bears did exist. Look, it does exist. Look, this is actually what the lyric is. Don't fool me. No gaslighting. I don't want this. I'm going to go crazy enough in my old age. You don't need to gaslight me into it. Just be patient. I will get there on my own. You don't have to hurry things along. I promise you. In fact, the more you try to hurry things along, the bigger, more obstinate I'm going to get. So, there we go. Boom. Soapbox moment. And good, Pussycat, you do have a turntable that plays it. That was actually one of the things I was wondering and hoping that you still had a turntable. Because if you have records, you better have a turntable. And yeah, I need more. I need more coffee. Can I whisper you some other homework assignments to hand out over here? I don't know, Rick. If you can whisper them in one ear, Darlene can whisper other ones in another ear, so homework can go both ways, There we go. That is right. And yes, my little soapbox emoji. Honestly, you guys, that soapbox, I can see improvements of where I kind of messed it up and could have made that a little bit better, but that was, I think, one of my first emotes that I ever created, and I'm still proud of it to this day. Because I am not a graphic designer. I do not know how to operate any of those fancy pants things to make all the graphics pretty and everything. And if I had to make that again right now today, I couldn't. I don't know how to do any of those things anymore. I have completely forgotten how to make those fancy things. But I really do like... The only thing that I would change, Darlene, is I would just get rid of that little white line. Like I would just... There's a little white line next to the bottom of the box. I would try to get rid of that. And let's see here. Check out the picture on the Bing album you just sent. Okay, well, I go do that. No, actually, I don't want to do that. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm going to go look up another picture. And I used to study the Berenstein Bears. Autocorrect put in Bernstein. Okay, so see, Honda, so Berenstain, I see, and this is, I can't remember which one they're telling me didn't exist. I think it's like Berenstain, and it's Statin that they're saying is now. I don't remember, but you used to study those books. Well, they're telling us that they didn't exist the way we remember them. And I don't think that they are right. I think AI is wrong sometimes. A lot of times. And all right, Picola T, go eat with the grandkids. Hope you have a good meal. And yeah, you guys have a great week too, Picola T. So let's see here. I'm going to play this for you guys while I go look for the Bing Crosby thing. This is kind of a feel-good story out of Hawaii. And it is talking about tackling the community problems that all of us have right now with excessive homelessness and affordability of housing. And Honolulu, actually, the entire state of Hawaii, I think it sounds like, has adopted a radical new approach that is a holistic method of getting people off of the streets. And so far, this test project not only is looking good, but they've expanded it to about 900 beds. This program is covering over the islands. And it's pretty awesome, I think, because it's not something, it is pretty much actually the direct opposite of how how most cities are dealing with their homelessness population, their homelessness crisis. And because, the crisis is a lot of crises that focus in on one thing, that result in one thing, which is people living on the street. But, there's a lack of affordable housing. There's lack of jobs that pay enough for affordable housing. There's mental health issues. All of these things can swirl into a huge issue that eventually ends up in homelessness. And sometimes what helps solve all of those things is just getting a home. Whereas a lot of focusing on the homelessness problem is getting the people who are homeless to change their behavior enough to earn a place to have a home. Hawaii has flipped the script. You don't have to change your behavior. We're going to get you a home. And when you're in that home, your behavior will change. You will be given access to services. Your drug use will go down. You will become more employable. And they've actually got some statistics to prove it. And so I thought this was really neat, and so I thought I'd share it with you. And so let's do this. Boop.
On this Thanksgiving Day, folks living in Kauhale units and communities say they finally feel a sense of home. They feel safe and supported. But the expansion comes at a cost, and as lawmakers and skeptics demand proof of the program, they want to know that it delivers lasting results. Jill Kuramoto has more.
On a day centered on home, warmth, and togetherness, Hawaii residents who once had none of it now say they finally do.
Tell me how you like it, all right?
Today, there are 24 kauhale statewide. They provide more than 900 new beds, along with shelter, stability, and support. Michael Rivera spent 8 months at Alana Olapono in Iwalei, but is now living on his own at the senior residences next door.
When I was depressed, this place gave me hope, and they like never control me, but gave me faith that I can do this, and I can do this without alcohol or drugs.
And so what we're doing here is we're working to increase the stability for our entire community. When I'm walking across our communities, I'm reminded every day that I can do a small piece, everybody can do a small piece in it.
Alana Olapono has become a model of what Governor Josh Green calls housing as healthcare, villages designed not just to shelter, but to heal.
As simple as it is, in a tiny unit, their drug consumption drops 60%, their costs go down precipitously because they don't have to go to the emergency department all the time, and they live longer.
The state has invested over $100 million in housing solutions over the last 2.5 years. They estimate it saved taxpayers at least $27 million a year to Hawaii's health, human services, public safety, and judiciary systems. But even as the program grows, it's also under a microscope. Lawmakers have mandated a performance audit, citing concerns over operating costs for off-grid sites and concerns over non-bid contracts.
When you do something new, people try to assess it and judge it, but we're the only ones that I know of in the country that have embraced social health, and that means giving people housing as part of their healing. And it's working. We'll never be perfect, but it's working.
There you go. Yeah. At Kamalu Ko'olau and Kaneohe, the kitchen smells like Thanksgiving. This kauhale, like the Iwalei site, serves those who fall into the housing gap of deeply affordable homes.
Between $300 to $400 a month, and that's what they're paying here. So that allows them to achieve upward economic mobility. It allows them to regain their selves, their lives, and actually move into permanent housing.
Down here is squash and then peppers.
Resident Cheryl Hubinski shows us the garden she started as one of the first residents here. Now she's packing her bags, getting ready to move into permanent housing next month.
It's private and secure. Your doors are equipped with a lock. Yeah, I was happy to be here. Very happy. And you can see the surroundings, how beautiful. Although we're given a homeless name, we're really not homeless, we're houseless.
But the Kauhale movement isn't only at the state level. At Vista Waikiki, the city and county has converted a former hotel to housing individuals, like Anthony Kaumea and his 3 children.
I wouldn't go through all of this, but I get my kids, and that's what making me push forward, you know what I mean? I got to show them a good role model, now I'm that role model. I'm trying.
While critics say Kauhale must still prove long-term success, today the message from residents is simple. A tiny home, a support system, and a chance to start again. Sometimes that's all it takes to change everything. Jewel Kuramoto, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
On this Thanksgiving Day, folks living in Kauhale units and communities say they find...
All right, there we go. So I thought that was an uplifting little news tidbit for this winter era. I know it was obviously on Thanksgiving when that was originally shown, but well, you know, what can I say? I'm late on the draw. But I did find the Bing Crosby album, and I think, oh, what? No way. Oh, dang it. All right, hold on. I thought that it was... Oh, I know what happened. God dang it. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so... yes, that's the one. That's exactly it. We were not insane. Shock. But let's see here. This is the album that Pussycat just says that he's got. I believe that he's got it because he just sent me this picture. And I am going out on a limb to say that that looks like a pretty authentic, old school album. So if that album, whatever the words are on the version on that album, that I will agree with. I will live with. I will. If I'm proven wrong, then so be it. I was proven wrong, but I truly believe that it's. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. And was it signed? I wasn't sure if that was part of the Puzzy. Is it really signed by Bing? Like, or is that part of the? I just thought that was part of the album cover. Is that album actually signed by him? Or is that part of the just part of the album cover design? And yeah, I bet your mom would play it every Christmas. No, okay, so yeah, so it's part of the album design. He didn't sign it. Got it. And yeah, you've got to play it. Send a video with the volume 2 singing that part of the song. Yeah, if you can do that, Pussycat, that would be awesome. But even if you can't somehow get a recording of it for us, we'll trust you. I mean, really, just don't F with us, man. We trust you. You know, if it says plan, I don't know. I kind of want to hear it. I want to hear it from if it says plan, I really kind of want to hear it from myself now that I think about it. But yeah, that just, when I heard that on the interwebs, I was watching a creator, they were talking about how, and they played a clip of the "You Can Plan on Me," but it's just because somebody made a recording and dubbed in "plan" doesn't necessarily mean it really was on the album like that. Oh no, I need more coffee. I'm coming down from the worst cup of coffee in my life. And Rick, you think the Chipmunks version says plan? Well, you know, you could be onto something there. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe there is a logical root to this nefarious gaslighting attempt. Maybe there is a real root cause that isn't so nefarious. And you have the Chipmunks one too. Well, you can listen to both of them and tell us if any of them have plan. Because if none of them have plan, then I'm really going to. It's a nefarious plan. Exactly. None of them. Then I'll really be more of a mad statter than I already am. And that's right. Is it mad or is it loco? All depends on the day. And okay, so are we talking about the Grinch? Okay, I have questions. I have multiple questions about the Grinch. First and foremost, the most important question: have you watched it recently? And if you did it make you just smile again? I watched it the other night. We watched it at the bar, and every single one of us, we're all over the age of 50. We just sat wrapped at the TV. Even the salty, bitchy, cranky ass bartender who doesn't like anybody or anything, even she was just like looking up at the TV all, ah. And I have to wonder, kids today, and when I say kids, I mean the little kids, cartoon age kids. Do they watch the original Grinch the way we did? And B, what do they think of it? Because when you look at it, that art style in comparison to the kind of animations that we have nowadays, it's so different. There was no attempt at realism. It was actually a little bit surreal, and the colors are so garish. It's very unlike animation of today. Like, very unlike it. And so I just wonder, do the kids think it's neat, or do they just sort of roll their eyes at, this old-timey, weird cartoon? I don't know. I just have to wonder what the kids think of the cartoon Grinch. And then my second question is, have you all tried the Grinch McDonald's meal yet? Because I did try the Grinch McDonald's meal. I got myself a pair of red McDonald's socks, and I got the Grinch McDonald's meal, and it was meh. It was meh. I like the fact that they're bringing the McShaker fries to the United States, because Japan has had them for a really long time now, and I've been waiting for them to come here. But the dill pickle salt that made it the Grinch meal, meh. So if you haven't had it, but you're curious, you should try it. But all in all, it's meh. But it is nice to get a pair of socks. And kids know the story from the Grinch movie, so they probably accept the cartoon. We'll see. Dude, a Pussycat, if you ever want to get rid of those albums, I will come get them. All of those albums sound like the bomb, dude. I really would like to check out that your collection if you ever, but you're a collector, so you're never going to. But if you do decide that you have to part with some ways, hi, those albums look neat. I might be interested. And Josh Johnson did a bit on Hawaii 7-Elevens. Yes, Josh Johnson did do a bit on Hawaii 7-Elevens. And James Mane, apparently, I had no idea that he did this until today. James Mane opened for Josh Johnson in Honolulu a couple weeks ago. Or a week ago. If you're not familiar with who Josh Johnson is, he is a child of a man. I don't know, he's probably 30, but oh god, he looks so young. And he's just this beautiful brown-skinned boy. Dreadlocks or braids, not really sure. He is one of the hosts of Comedy Central's The Daily Show. He's a YouTube creator, content creator. He has at least once a week an almost hour-long comedy special that he produces on YouTube, and he is just so funny. His comedy is very slow paced and more storytelling, but oh my goodness, he killed it in Hawaii. So much so, actually, that that when I was watching this show, people in the live chat were complaining that there was a laugh track. They thought that the laughter was so loud and overbearing. They thought that Josh was using a laugh track on that show, but it very much was not a laugh track. You could tell. And true, Sihonda, Josh is a crack up, and he's very clean. Yes, his comedy is very clean, for sure. Unlike the floors at 7-Eleven, and that was part of one of his jokes. You'll have to watch it online, okay? You're just gonna have to watch it online. And you just watched YouTube with Josh in Oahu. Exactly, James Mane opened that set. So, James opened that set. I think Josh played there 2 nights in a row, and James opened both times. And Pussycat, that's not even my stuff. I have older rock and roll albums that are very desirable. Well, honestly, the older rock and roll albums that are very desirable, I don't doubt, but I'm very curious about the country and western that might be mixed in with some of that mom stuff with Bing Crosby and 1950s and 60s country pop type stuff. I'm very curious about what might be in that collection for that. Because I only have like 5 or 6 Tammy Wynette records. I need maybe 5 or 6 more. What can I tell ya? Well, this is what I can tell you. I can tell you that we are 5 minutes close to the bottom of the hour, and so we probably should wrap things up. And that means I want to thank all of the mods for being here. I don't think any mod needed to mod, and if you did mod, well, you did it so quick I didn't even know. And I want to thank all the people for subbing and resubbing and gift subbing. I want to thank the biddy givers, etc., etc. And hey, Daniel Vu, good to see you. We were just wrapping things up. We were talking about all sorts of things. We were talking about, wow, we were talking about so many things I don't even remember. We were talking about the Grinch. We were talking about Pyrex cookware. We were talking about being gaslit by there's a generation out there that's trying to insist that Bing Crosby says, "I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me." When we all know that's not how the words go. We all know it's "you can count on me." And Pussycat has an assignment to prove that because he's got the album that has that song on it. And Kenny Rogers and Pussycat. And right now, Pussycat, he's just bragging about the albums that he's got. Patsy Cline, Kenny Rogers, Willie Nelson, Bing Crosby, of course, Disney albums. I'm going to even go out on a limb, Pussycat. Do you happen to have the original Muppet movie soundtrack on album? That is one of my albums from my youth that I gave away or got rid of, and I am very disappointed in myself as a grown-up. Very disappointed in myself as a grown-up because that was such a classic album, and I sometimes like to want to listen to "Moving Right Along" and something with highways. There's good luck in byways, and we'll get there eventually. These are not the words, but I don't know them off my head. So let's go and do stuff. It's all about the Muppets. Moving right along. Shooba-doop, shooba-doop, shooba-doop. Does anyone recognize that song? Because if you do, you're amazing. Because that's not at all how that song goes. But that's how it sounds in my head. All right then. So, on that note... On that note, now that I've giggled myself into my own oblivion, we will be closing the show. But I will hope to see you on Wednesday. I knew what you meant, Darlene. But I will hopefully see you on Wednesday at 5 p.m. West Coast time. If Pussycat's here, I hope that he will let us know what the verdict is on that silly Bing Crosby tune, because we already know we're right. We just need to prove it to everybody. See? And shock, the YouTube version is Plan. That's what I'm saying. They're messing with our mind, man. I don't... Puzzy, we need you now more than ever. Puzzy, can you hear me? We need you now more than ever. Please, review the album and get back to us. Yeah. No, I am refusing to... I will click that link, but... Alright. Alrighty, you guys. So, thank you for putting up with my madness, both mentally and angrily over the whole Bing Crosby thing. Alright, well, like I said, Andy Bubatai in theory is going to come back December 19th, so hopefully we'll see him then. But if we don't, hopefully we'll hang out on Wednesday or the Saturday after that, which is Secret Squirrel Cinema, and we will be watching Strange Brew, a Rick Moranis film from the mid to mid 1980s. Takes place in Canada. People haven't seen it. Hello, me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, good. That's. Thank you, Puzzy. That's what I was going for. And you caught, but I didn't know how off I was, so I wasn't even sure if anyone was going to catch that. Thank you. You actually got that. And okay, Shot coming in with Snopes. Okay, you guys. All right, we're late, but hold on. I'm just going to scan the Snopes. You can count on me. What are the correct lyrics? No, I refuse. No. Oh, people changed Plan to Count in the 50s. Okay, I only scanned some of it. So, all right, I'll have to reread that. But apparently the copywritten lyrics are Plan, and that makes me angry. All right, then. On that note, I don't know if you can count on me, but you can plan on me.